Hey boys, sorry if you hear the 3D printer in the background. Suck it up. This video is about my general trajectory that I've had in life. So when I was a young lad, I was a jester, and I didn't know I was a jester. I mean, these terms didn't exist. I'm 33 years old, if you didn't know, so I was born in 1993, and I grew up being the class clown up until, roughly speaking, maybe late elementary, middle school. I got in trouble plenty of times for my various class clownery, usually just talking in class. I mean, I didn't really do anything crazy or anything. I was just a jester. I was just a friendly jester. Say what you will about jesters, but, typically they're just trying to be friendly people. But eventually I got in enough trouble, this and that and the other thing. I won't get into specifics. It's not necessary. But I was forced by school, public school, to basically go to quote-unquote therapy. It really wasn't therapy so much as it was like training to get me to stop being a jester. And honestly, I don't really remember a lick of any of it. All I really remember is that the guy told me that if I was good at school, I would get candy. And he was like, this was all professional, so if this sounds weird or whatever, like this was all above board, the school, forced their hand and everything and did all that. So, but if you ask me, like, what exactly happened in these therapy sessions, I don't really remember. All I really remember is I got candy if I didn't make noise in class, and I didn't get candy if I did make noise in class. Basically. It's basically the answer. And it was fucked up. It was entirely fucked up for a number of reasons. And I wasn't put on drugs or anything like that, so I never had Ritalin or anything like that. Nothing like that. I wasn't diagnosed with autism or ADHD. I don't necessarily think I have those things per se. I'm certainly neurodivergent, but not in that way. If anything, personally, I'm more on the schizoid personality type than anything else. And I say personality type, not schizophrenia. That's a different thing, but I digress. So, yeah, I don't recall how long that therapy, quote-unquote, thing happened, but I do remember that eventually I went from the jester to the quiet kid in class. Because that was what was instilled upon me. So I remember being a lot quieter. I didn't make jokes, I didn't talk to people, so on and so forth. Like I said, pretty fucked up shit when you think about it. And like I said, I don't even really remember how exactly it all transpired. I just remember the basis of if I was quiet, I got candy. That's it. That's all I knew. That's all I really remember. Anyway, from that point on, in terms of being quiet, what I want to emphasize here is that, again, say what you will about being a jester, but at least being a jester, you get social connection of some kind. You get social interaction of some kind, which I say this as an extreme introvert, but social connection is a mandatory human experience. You need to socialize. Again, I am an extreme introvert, and I still probably need about 5 to 10 minutes of human interaction weekly in order to, be okay. But basically, I started out as a jester, and then I went to the quiet kid, and then from, probably early to mid-college, I started turning into a Chud, which I am currently a very happy Chud. Which is to say, I don't think Chuds are particularly happy, but amongst the Chuds, I can be pretty happy. But it goes to show something that's always been true, and that is that society makes their own monsters, right? Because society could have just condoned me being a jester, and I would still be a jester. But instead I was essentially, for lack of a better word, and I don't think there is a better word than this, traumatized into being the quiet kid and being shut down and being essentially oppressed, frankly. And then eventually going and turning into a chud, because why wouldn't I? You know, when you look at your own life, and you look at it honestly, and you really just follow the history of your life, it's really not a surprise where you ended up. I think all of us can say that if we just were able to look at our lives. It's not a surprise that I ended up being a 33-year-old chud. It's not a surprise. When I was young, girls didn't like me. Guys didn't like me. Nobody really liked me. I was a jester, right? Like, make no mistake, I had social interaction, but I didn't have friends. I had people who laughed at me. I had people who liked to make fun of me. I was bullied for most of my school years. I was bullied up until basically high school. Like, the moment I hit high school, the bullying ended, and nothing happened. Like, the bullying just stopped. It's not like I stood up for myself or anything. It's just the bullying just stopped. And the bullying ranged from a variety of things. I mean, it was mostly, you know, verbal, emotional stuff. Very few instances of it being physical bullying. But I was, you know, definitely physically bullied on the rare occasion. You know, I probably had at least 2 black eyes in my childhood. I remember, I think I mentioned this on my channel before, but my first experience with a dark-skinned individual was that of him bullying me. And he was held back in kindergarten, so the memes write themselves. I lost my train of thought. So my point is that, you know, you can see how this trajectory panned out, and that society got what they ultimately wanted, which was ironically what society claims it doesn't want. You know, society claims they don't want chuds and shit, but it's like, well, you had this kid who was happy and willing to interact with people, failing to understand that he wasn't really positively interacting with people, but nonetheless still interacting with people. Because, you know, kids don't care so much about the quality of the attention as much as they care about the attention. For the most part, I would say, at least. But, alas, you know, here I am, and essentially my social battery is non-existent. I don't like talking to people, generally. It's very rare that I get excited to talk to someone. You know, I go to church every week. Not a religious man, but I just go for the community. And it's exhausting just having everyone say hello to you. For me, that's exhausting to me. And I don't really much care for conversation. I find it mostly burdensome more than anything else. So, you know, I guess what's the message? What's the summation of this video before it gets too long and such? It's that it's no surprise where you end up in life. It's not your fault. As Rehab Room says, that's my favorite video of Rehab Room, is just play the cards you were dealt. That's the video title. That's my favorite video of his. It's probably my most watched video of his, too. It's no surprise that I ended up where I was. Society did not develop me into any sort of quote-unquote positive model of a man. But on the other side of things, even if I was all the things that society deemed great, I'd probably be in a worse position. You know, here's what I'll end on. Everyone does the best that they can. Everyone does the best that they can. Most people can't do very well, is the problem. But make no mistake that I vehemently believe that every single person does the best that they can. It's just that most people are terrible, and therefore their best is very, very shit. But people are always going to do the best that they can. And to get men to be the best that they can does not take a whole lot. It really doesn't. And to get men onto your side, and to get men to agree with your political opinions, and to get men to act in a way that you want them to, again, not a very complicated thing. It's usually a matter of giving them pussy. Promise men pussy and they'll do just about anything. Generally speaking. I, again, might be the exception here, but I admit that I am the exception and not the rule. Um, because it's too late for me. I'm all like I said, I'm a chud. Like you can't. If someone's legitimately a chud, they can't be swayed. You can't sway them. If you can be swayed, you're probably not a chud. You're probably a faux chud. You're not a real chud, because a real chud is just too far gone. I'm too far gone. I can't go back. It's just not in the schematics. And I think that's what I'll probably end on is that is all that I just said. I probably would just be repeating myself at this point, but yeah. So my journey was from Jester to Quiet Kid to Chud, and it wasn't my fault. It was pretty much everyone else's fault. Not even pretty much. It was absolutely 100% everyone else's fault. Um, if being a Jester got me positive results, then I would have continued being a Jester, but it did not. If being the Quiet Kid continued to get me positive results, then I would have continued being the Quiet Kid, but it did not. And you may say, well, does being a Chud get you the positive results? Well, it keeps me away from danger. Which is better than anything, because I don't think society offers positive results to just about any kind of man. Jester, Quiet Kid, Chud, even Chat, I don't think gets positive results out of this society. I don't understand how anyone wakes up in the morning and looks forward to the future. I'm not even trying to be depressive. I'm not trying to be a downer. I'm just being real. I'm just like, how do you wake up and get excited for the future? Because I remember being a kid and being excited for the future. Boy, was I an ignorant child back then, huh? Because this is the future. A world not even truly made for Chads and Stacys, just for Chad and Stacys to basically numb themselves out to the reality of the world. That's the world we really live in. Anyway, I'll end it there, boys.